He was once strong, confident, full of fire, but life has a way of breaking even the strongest. Failure, disappointment, fear, and little by little his courage disappeared. Until one day, God stepped in and restored what he thought was gone forever. Daniel used to be bold. He spoke his mind, he chased dreams, he took risks. But after a series of painful failures, his confidence crumbled. A failed business, a broken relationship, a string of rejections. He still went to work, still smiled for the world, but inside he was afraid to try again, afraid of another mistake, afraid of disappointment. And the worst part, he felt like he'd failed God too. Courage doesn't vanish all at once. It slips away in quiet moments. When you pray and nothing changes. When you risk something big and fall flat. When people you trust walk away. For Daniel, it began with doubt. He told himself, maybe I'm not capable. Then it grew into fear. What if I try again and fail worse than before? Eventually it became paralysis. He stopped trying altogether. He avoided opportunities. He avoided challenges. He stayed small, safe, hidden, but his heart was restless. One night, Daniel sat alone in his apartment staring at his journal. Pages full of dreams he once had, songs he wanted to write, projects he wanted to start, places he wanted to go. Now they just looked like reminders of who he used to be. With tears in his eyes, he whispered, "Lord, I don't have courage anymore. I don't even know if I can keep going. Can you still use me like this?" The answer didn't come in a dramatic vision. It came through Scripture. That night, his Bible fell open to Joshua 1:9. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Daniel read it again, slowly. Be strong and courageous. The Lord your God will be with you. It wasn't about being fearless. It wasn't about self-confidence. It was about God's presence. Courage wasn't something Daniel had to manufacture. It was something God could restore. The next morning, Daniel prayed differently. Instead of asking, "Lord, make me strong," he prayed, "Lord, be with me." Instead of saying, "Give me confidence," he said, "Give me trust." Little by little, something inside him began to change. He started taking small steps again. He reached out to a mentor for advice. He dusted off one of the songs in his journal and finished it. The fear was still there, but God's voice was louder. Soon, Daniel faced a new opportunity. A friend invited him to share his music at a small church event. His first reaction, "No way, I'm not ready, I'll embarrass myself." But as he sat with God in prayer, he felt a gentle nudge. "You're not doing this alone. I am with you." So with trembling hands, Daniel said yes. That night, as he stood in front of the small crowd, his voice cracked at first, but then peace settled over him. He wasn't performing, he was worshiping. When he finished, people came up with tears in their eyes saying, "That song was exactly what I needed tonight." Daniel realized God had used him, even in weakness. From that night forward, Daniel's courage grew again. Not the old, reckless courage that depended on himself, but a new courage rooted in God's strength. He began stepping into opportunities he once avoided. He started dreaming again, but this time with open hands, trusting God's timing. The same man who once said, "I can't," was now saying, "I can, because God is with me." Here's the truth. We all lose courage sometimes. Life beats us down. Failures pile up. Fear grows louder, but courage isn't about never being afraid. Courage is moving forward with God by your side. David stood before Goliath not because he was fearless, but because he trusted God's power. Moses returned to Egypt not because he was eloquent, but because God promised, "I will be with you." And Jesus himself told his disciples, "In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world." John 16:33. So if you've lost your courage, God can restore it. Not by removing every challenge, but by reminding you that you're never alone in the challenge. Daniel's story is our story. We all face moments when fear wins, but the same God who restored his courage can restore yours. So if you've been living small, hiding, or hesitating out of fear, hear this today. God is saying, be strong, be courageous. I am with you wherever you go. Type Amen if you believe that God can restore your courage.